Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be my recap and evaluation of the 2022 PBA season that we finished here a couple weeks ago. So yeah, let's get into it. Please subscribe, and remember, if you want the complete recaps of all the tournaments, click the little link here somewhere, and you can get the entire playlist of all my recap and vlogs from the PBA tournaments. So obviously this year didn't go as I was hoping. Coming off winning the Masters last year, I kind of had some hopes that things were going to work out a lot better, but they didn't. So here's kind of what I experienced and what I learned. So the year started out pretty decent. I cashed at the Players, was close to the show for most of the tournament. But I, at the same time, also felt like I wasn't as sharp as I needed to be. I made too many bad shots, and my spare shooting wasn't nearly as good as I would like it to be. So there were some things to work on, and most of it was just, I think it was a result of not having any tournaments to bowl in Europe, basically since winning the Masters, and the only thing I really bowled is like two tournaments and the Weber Cup. So there's not a whole lot of tournament sharpness going on compared to a lot of the American guys that still have that had regionals and local tournaments every weekend. So that was kind of where we started. Pretty decent start considering everything. Spare shooting improved. I was able to figure the spare shooting out pretty quickly, and I would say for the last 75% of the tournaments, my spare shooting was really good. Made almost every simple spare, made a lot of splits, so that was really good. However, my strike balls didn't really agree with me. I threw too many bad shots early on in the season, and then when I started throwing it better, I couldn't get my ball to do the right thing. So kind of then about when we hit the midway point, when we bowled the regional and the Tournament of Champions with Brad Angelo, kind of talked about a couple things. I was seeing my ball motion too far down lane. We worked on that. I got my hand in a different spot, and all of a sudden I had really good ball motion, really good ball reaction for the regional and the TOC. A lot of confidence all of a sudden when you see your balls doing the right thing, and yeah, a couple good weeks there. Then we go to the next week, and I lose a little bit of the good rhythm I was in physically, so I'm not bowling quite as well. I'm still bowling okay, but I just can't get my ball to do the right things. I would say the big difference from last year to this year is, or from the last couple years, I felt like there was more tournaments where I had areas of the lane I just couldn't create good ball motion in. I probably could, given enough time to figure it out, but when you need to make the move and shoot 220 or 230 right away, it has to be kind of a fairly natural. And a lot of times I felt like when I got to certain parts of the lane, whether some tournaments it was left of 20, some tournaments it was left of 25. It was different depending on what tournament, what pattern we bowled on. I just couldn't get my ball to do the right thing. I would go double, 2-8-10. Next shot would be big 4, without me feeling like the 4 shots were that far apart. And it's really hard to keep up with the guys out here, especially with only 24 basically making the cut every week. and that got to me. That definitely got to me mentally. So I started bowling worse. I started losing confidence, and it kind of felt like I felt like I had to be so perfect with my technique that when I had good ball reaction, I couldn't throw it. I got in my own way and threw it bad because I was so focused on, all right, you got good ball motion, now you have to strike every shot, so you have to throw every shot perfect, or well, now you have, and then all of a sudden you don't throw every shot perfect. And then when I was basically out of tournament, didn't really have any look, I was able to actually ball physically pretty well because I wasn't under any kind of pressure, and I could just kind of relax, focus on a couple things physically, and get into a good rhythm. Obviously, I didn't have any ball reaction, so that didn't solve anything. The results didn't really do anything, and that kind of kept piling to where I got frustrated. I lost confidence, and it got to a point for the last couple tournaments where I just had this weird feeling when I was on the approach, almost like I was very uncomfortable bowling, almost like I was anxious and just not able to calm down until it was too late a lot of times, and that really hurt me, because I think if I go out there and I bowl well mentally and bowl okay physically, yeah, there's probably been tournaments where I still didn't make the cut, but would have made the cut more often. I would have some okay, been able to feel like I got something out of the bad tournaments even, and I couldn't do it. So mentally, it just was really bad, and I can see that now when I'm a couple weeks past it and kind of reflect on it. At the same time, I also felt like there was more times this year where, like I said, I just couldn't create good ball reaction. So I'm doing something wrong physically with my ball roll, ball selection, that just isn't matching up. And there's been a little bit of it the past few years, but this year was definitely worse, and made worse by the mental state I was in. But at the same time, what I've learned is I need to make some changes, and not just like little tweaks. I need to make some bigger changes that will allow me to create ball reaction in some of the areas of the lane where I can't right now. It's not like I have to be EJ Tackett or Belmo or something and be able to play sixth arrow, but I need to not feel like I have to trick the ball for 60% of the games we bowl. Because I figured out most tournaments I got off to a pretty decent start on the fresh, and then when it just felt like the difference between game one and the other games, when the way the field transitioned, the lanes were much more drastic than other years. And you can also see it in some of the other guys, like Frankie struggled this year, Frankie Lawar. Chris Vai had more issues than the last couple of years. There's a lot of guys that had been pretty solid players for a number of years now that struggled this year. So, not saying that it was all the guys with lower rev rates or anything. Chris Vai has a very high rev rate, but obviously some things were different this year that affected a number of players, and also a number of players took advantage of it and had really good years. So I have to figure out what I'm gonna change to match up better every week, because I don't want to be a player that goes out there and goes no chance, and then then finishes like 10th and then no chance. I want to be able to feel like if I bowl well and things go a little bit my way, that I have a chance at a top finish every week. And then obviously there's going to be weeks where it doesn't work out, but I want to feel like I can win and be close to the top on every pattern and every week. So some changes coming. One thing I know is I'm gonna experiment a little bit with some grip changes, and I'm gonna work on some physical things. I haven't completely figured out what I'm gonna work on, but definitely I'm gonna make some physical changes, and I feel like they're gonna be not just minor changes, but some major changes. So not major, but bigger changes to try to be more competitive out on the PBA tour and bowling in general. And obviously I'm gonna try to talk to someone and figure out some things mentally. It's been nice taking a couple weeks off here. That has helped, but more work to be done. So I look forward to getting back on the lanes, practicing and bowling some more. Hopefully the European tour will get started again. And that was kind of my thoughts. And make sure you check out the recaps and make sure you keep up, because when I figure out what I'm exactly going to work on, I'm going to be posting more videos of what I'm working on and what I hope that's going to help me achieve. So please subscribe here to Emax and watch some videos. Thank you. I'll see you guys later.